Hi, good morning. I am a little bit excited today. I'm really excited, so I'm trying to maintain myself. Because today, of course, we know this is Women's History Month, and this week was International Women's Day. And today, I'm so excited. I'm going to talk to one of the most powerful, impressive women in music, someone I'm a huge fan of. I'll save some of this for when she's here. We won't wait long. But Hayley Williams from Paramore is going to come talk to us in just like 1 minute about her incredible hair care line, Good Die Young, and all things plant-based and her journey and all the amazing things she does. She is an incredible person, and I'm a cool mom finally. Well, at least for this morning, my family is impressed because we are enormous fans. After we talk with Hayley, we are going to talk about her favorite cookie and how to make it. And also, you can send me a message, and I'll come talk to you about women that you're uplifting, women that you look up to and admire, and how you're celebrating women this month. So let's not waste any time. Let's go find Hayley. Oh, there she is. Oh, I hope this works really fast because I don't want to waste any time. I hope she comes right on. Let's see. Did it work? Oh, last week it was very glitchy. Ah! Hello!
Hi!
Hi!
I can't believe I got that the first try.
I know, I never do. I fail. Like last week, I failed for like 5 minutes.
It's so confusing, but this is what's normal now. This is what we have to get good at.
I know. The one thing I like about it, to be honest, is like I like that as a culture, we're sort of accepting of like maybe not always being perfect,
Yeah, man. That's so true. I was just telling the girls on my team here, I'm at the Good Day Young office, and I was telling them like this is actually one of the first truly live things that I've done in about a year because we've been home and I haven't really been able to play shows, and the shows that I have played are pre-taped. So I don't know, I'm very grateful that people seem to have eased into like relaxed into like this is life, this is what it is, and this is how
Yeah.
we look today, this is how we are today, and here I am. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah, and you're so awesome, and you're actually
Thank you.
so it's Good Die Young. Okay, first of all, you have an incredible hair care line. Everyone knows who this is. This is Hayley Williams from
Hi.
Paramore. We're huge fans.
Thank you.
But maybe people don't know is that you have this beauty line and this hair
Yeah.
care line, which was so intriguing to me that you, with your incredibly busy schedule and your crazy life, would do this. So tell us about it, just a basic to begin with.
Yeah, well, so I started Good Day Young. I kind of started dreaming it up in my early 20s. Took a little while to get off the ground because no one thought there was a market for neon colored hair at the time. But yeah, we are a semi-permanent vegan and cruelty-free hair color and hair care company. And we're still growing. Like we're still kind of operating as a startup, but this last couple of years, and especially actually just since 2020, we've really become I feel like we're starting to solidify ourselves, and the message of our brand has always been about inclusivity and expression, not necessarily for beauty or to look a specific way to please someone, but to make yourself feel better. And so there's a lot of language around like how self-expression can benefit your mental health, and obviously everything we do, we try to be as inclusive as we can and promote hair dye and hair care for all sorts of different people with different types of hair, and we're having a lot of fun. I mean, my Becca, who is one of our team members, she's going to come on in a few minutes too, and she can talk with me about some of the stuff that we do.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I was thinking about when Billy was little. I mean, she was pretty young when she first tried to, color her hair with God knows what. I think when we tried Kool-Aid,
Yes. Oh yeah. I remember those days. Holy shit.
I actually have your product here, which is exciting.
Yes.
And, I was thinking though, and maybe this is you and maybe not, but to answer the question, but I think people would wonder, like, what is vegan about a hair care line? Like, what is cruelty free? I think a lot of people don't understand, like, you're not eating it. So, like, what does that mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was confused about that too when I was younger. And I think I got to a point where I started just thinking that we were beyond animal testing. And I just kind of, I was the same. I thought, well, it's a beauty product. It's not a food product. So it's vegetarian, it's vegan, it's, but as we started to develop our products, we kind of, in fact, when we first launched, the only product that wasn't vegan, and we were pretty bummed about this. We did a lot of research and we couldn't get there yet, was our bleach, our lightening kit. It had like a point something percent keratin protein, which was meant to help strengthen the hair, because when you lighten your hair, you're kind of compromising the health of it. But we try to put ingredients in our products that help nourish it again and re-strengthen it. So we finally were able to develop a plant-based protein that could be in our bleach, and it's going to be in some of our other hair care products as we continue to develop. But yeah, I mean, stuff is often hiding in products that, I mean, and not just animal related, but even just bad ingredients that aren't good to put on your body, because we know that what we put on our body goes in our body. It all affects this. It's all connected. So I'm so excited about the formulations that we're kind of learning about and how we're continuing to develop the line, because everything's vegan and cruelty free, and we won't make it if it's not vegan and cruelty free. And we're actually adding new standards now that we're a little bit more established, where we can say that all of our products are going to be clean. Most everything, we're trying to research sustainability options, and it's really exciting because now the frontier has sort of, like, I feel like we're in a better place now today in 2021 with more education and awareness around products and beauty. And I think that there are a lot of people in beauty that are holding themselves accountable to do the right thing by their consumer and also by the industry at large. But I mean, yeah, like, people still test cosmetic products on animals today, right now. And I do not understand how, I don't even get, that seems like the dark ages to me. Seems like we should be past it.
Yeah, it is crazy. But what you also do, like, you have no sulfates,
Yeah, no parabens.
I don't think people know what that does, sulfates to the planet, sulfates to your hair.
Yeah, so, okay. So actually I have a couple hair products here.
I use them.
You did? Did you like it?
I did. I loved it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, good. Well, so our hair care came later after we developed the semi-perm dyes. And we thought, okay, well, we're teaching people how to express themselves, but we have to teach them how to take care of the finished result, how to keep your hair healthy and shiny and protect the color from UV rays and pollution and all of that. So we decided to go into hair care. And we knew we didn't want sulfates, because sulfates, basically when you have sulfate in a soap product or like a shampoo, for example, that's what makes it lather. And anytime your shampoo is lathering, or even your soap, like if there's a lot of lather, it's not good for you. It's stripping your hair. It's kind of like, it can be breaking down some of the pigment that you've worked so hard to put into your hair. And we knew from the get-go that was one of our first stipulations, is we will be sulfate free. So for instance, when I used to dye my hair like super bright neon colors with Paramore, and it was still, it wasn't new for everyone, but it was still something that there wasn't a lot of common knowledge about. I mean, I would take cold showers, I would use, very safe products for my hair. And it's so nice now to be able to dye my hair with our products and then take care of my hair with our products.
That's great. I have found, to be honest, I tried using a lot of the soap bars.
Yeah.
And they're really lathery.
Yeah.
I think that's a problem. And so I'm hoping that people will find a way to do that kind of without adding all those sulfates, because I can tell. And when I used your product, I was like, oh, I get it. And it's amazing.
It's a learning curve, but I think that it's something you can get used to pretty easily, and you don't have to use a ton of product, because Brian, if Brian was here, he's my best friend and he co-founded the company with me. He's the one that he did the Misery Business hair and all the hair that I'm known for. He and I, from early on, I feel like we wanted to be able to make stuff that we would be so proud to use and stand behind. And I don't know, I mean, I kind of lost my train of thought on that, but going back to the soap bars, we're trying to develop those. We've been working on those for feels like almost a year now. but it's hard. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one, right? I think it is that sulfate thing and that concentrate thing. The conditioner ones are especially hard, I find.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a treat to use this, and I'm
Thank you.
excited where you're going. I feel like you were so ahead of the curve with this, you know?
Oh, thanks.
Is that because you've been, I mean, listen, I've been a vegetarian a long time. Obviously, people have been. But to launch a product at that time where it wasn't like people just kind of going, yeah, we know this is a good business move. You know, you were really taking a chance. So let's talk about your plant-based life in general. Because
it's a journey. I actually have so many questions for you about it too. Like, cause I didn't know when you became vegan, but even just in the last 10 years, I kind of moved out to LA off and on in 2010, and LA was a lot farther ahead than Nashville is. Even now, I mean, we have some great vegan places, but most of the people I knew out there were vegan or vegetarian, and I was kind of getting used to it and really loving that I was eating different from my family, because the South is very like meat and potatoes. Everything's meat and potatoes. Like, I can't go to my dad or my granddad's house without them being like, you need to put some meat on your bones, meat and potatoes. I'm like a lanky, but it's like, it is such a journey. It's a journey that I've gone up and down with. And now that I'm 32 and I'm in Nashville, there's more vegan awareness. There's more plant-based restaurants in town. There's a lot of education that I've been able to acquire, and, you know, learning about how it affects our economy alone, and how sustainable it is to eat without eating meat. I'm still learning about it. So I love watching you, because you have such an ease about it, and it's inspiring.
Well, thanks. I feel like for me, you know, and I've said this before, it always stems from a belief. It started with a belief, and I think that makes it easier, so that it's almost, to me, like I don't see certain food as edible, right? Like, to me, like, meat is not an edible thing. It's like as if you served me a board and said you have to eat this, you know, like, I'm not gonna, an arm, you know. So in my mind, it's like that's not something you eat. And it's weird that you go to restaurants to eat and there's all these inedible food stuff there, you know. So I think it starts with a belief, and, you know, of course, I can never say that it's, you know, just because it's sort of somewhat easy for me. I don't think, I get that it's not easy, you know, especially like you're talking about in the South, where, you know, it's just not part of the culture to have this kind of food. And, you know, you're up against, and a lot of other cultures, you know, I've talked to a lot of people who are like, well, you know, I'm Pakistani, and when I go home, you know, I have to eat this, or, you know, I get it. It's not super easy for everyone, but I think having that basic idea, and then treating food like a kind of adventure, I think, I'm going to talk about oatmeal cookies afterward, but I don't want to get too far off of you, so we'll come back to oatmeal cookies. But
Okay.
But I know you're really into plant-based eating, and, you know, that means everything. That doesn't just mean being perfect. I think that means every meal that you eat that's plant-based matters. You know, every one that you do counts. Counts for your health, counts for the planet, counts for the animals. What about this, Hayley? I know you have, I texted you because you're part of the campaign for mental health and for the service. And I know you've been really outspoken about it. And I know that's not always easy because, you know, I know with Billy, sometimes you can feel like, you know, all anybody wants to talk. Once you say it, once you're like, hey, I'm going to talk about my mental health, that's all anybody wants to talk about. So I don't want to, you know, overtax that subject, but I think because our audience here, the people who join us, last week we talked to Ebonique at Rain, and you know, about mental health. So when you want to share a little bit about, you know, why you decided to talk about it and why it's important to you.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I was always writing about my feelings, my mind, which, you know, could be sort of a dark place. And I remember my mom being terrified when she discovered some of my earliest Paramore lyrics on her computer, because I used to not have my own computer to write on. So, you know, I was always writing about my experience through my eyes, and went through a lot of things with my family that were hard, and quite dark. And then I grew up in the world that everyone's in right now, like the internet, that adds another form of pressure. And then my band got successful and that added more pressure, and you're still living inside of here, right? And it didn't feel that revolutionary to me to talk about it because it just was it was my experience. But I remember when we released After Laughter, someone was like, "Oh, Paramore just put out this album about depression. It's like a depression bop album, like you can dance to." And I was like, no, it's not about depression, you know, because I didn't want to be one of those artists that like, it seems like depression becomes such a hot button thing that's exciting. It's like becomes this like somehow this sexy word that's not sexy. It's terrifying if you struggle with it. And I had not yet been diagnosed with depression. So when people were saying that we were writing depression bops, I was like, I don't know about it. And then sure enough, about a year later, it was like, oh, you've had depression your whole life and PTSD. And so I don't know. I felt like it was once I got that diagnosis and once I realized like, you know, I'm already comfortable talking about it. Now I just have to own it and make a case for it, because there's people that may not know that they're struggling with that and they feel very alone or alienated by whatever they're seeing out there that's not matching their experience that's in here. And I don't know, I just find it really fulfilling to talk about. Sometimes I think like, damn, I'm such a downer. Like when like I smile a shit ton, but like I can be like, it's dark. So I think it's just nice to normalize it in some ways. And then also it's great to crystallize it in a song and leave it there. And, you know, I saw a lot about that on the doc when I watched the documentary, and seeing how you reacted to some of the lyrics that Billy was writing. And
Yeah.
I related to that because it's all about putting it in this Horcrux that's like, it's locked in there, and then you can keep living and experience everything that's out here. And
Yeah.
I love that about writing, and I love that about advocating for mental health.
Yeah, I think it's amazing that you do. And I've also, I saw is it Better Health? Is that the app?
BetterHelp, yeah.
Better Help. You know, I think a lot of people, and I get it. I mean, I've had depression, I've had therapy, but I'm not in therapy now. And I think it's a real line to cross to actually reach out for help. It's easy to say. And I will say this, when I've been in my darkest periods, I did suffer from clinical depression for quite a while.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't imagine taking that step. Do you know? And I think that's almost like you have to get outside yourself and just do it. Like, don't like, I'm not here picking up the phone or going on the thing. I'm just like making some other part of me do it, because it's very hard to make that step. Even though we all say do it, you know?
That's so true. It's so hard, like when you're talking about it and on a public setting like this, or even when I talked to my own camera about BetterHelp and did that PSA, it's easy to talk about it, but when you're actually in the moment feeling it, everything feels impossible. And it's weird because dissociation is not necessarily a good thing, but I feel like in my worst times I've sort of had to dissociate in order to take care of myself and be present. That's what's good about like having a dog, like my dog Alf, he keeps me so present, you know?
I know you said that your dog basically saved your life. I feel like our dogs, they do that all the time. Tell us a little more about your dogs, because everybody loves to know about people's dogs.
Yes, my dog Alf, he's 7. He's a little overweight right now. I need to take him on a few more walks per day. But anyway, he's a doodle, like a poodle mix. And I got him from this family who had given him to a woman who was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she got him and realized she couldn't take care of him. And so this family called me and they were like, you can come pick up, you know, we have this puppy. And I was so pumped because, I mean, to be really transparent, I was going through a breakup. I was not my best self. And, you know, he came into my life and I had no choice but to take care of him. And I think that taught me a little bit about taking care of myself at the time. And he's moved with me several times across the country. He's been on tour with me. He's so sweet, and he's still such a puppy. even though he's 7. And yeah, he quite literally saved my life. I'm pumped that I get to wake up next to him every day.
Wow, that is the best.
Yeah.
I think it's really the answer for so many things, caring for something else, you know,
Yeah.
and the love an animal gives you is so pure. And, you know, I mean, nobody loves you like your dog.
No.
Nobody.
No, you
Nobody in
can
your
be a
family.
total bitch and they're still gonna love you so much. It's crazy. Like it's so unconditional, and I envy that. I envy, like, it's just good to have around. I can't even think about not knowing a life, you know, that he's a big part of it. He's taught me a lot about. And speaking of that too, I think when you have any sort of mental health problem, any like depression or anxiety or whatever, to your point, taking care of something, doing something outside yourself is really one of the best. That's the best medicine, and that's why I like Support and Feed. That's why when the world shut down and everything got so dark last spring and summer, the best thing to do while we were all isolated was to get involved with mission work in one form or another. It was like the only thing I could do that made me feel better, and I found a lot of friendships that way. I found you that way, and yeah, I don't know. That's my favorite thing about doing mission work, is it gets you out of your own brain.
I think you're right. I think that is the key. And I mean, we're saying we think that, but I think research even shows that, you know, that
Yeah.
one of the biggest ways to deal with mental health issues and depression and et cetera challenges is to do charitable work for others. I mean, there is nothing more rewarding. There really is.
No.
And it can be hard because you then open your eyes to just how deep the issues are. And
Yeah.
then you can start to
Right.
feel like, wow, I can never do enough. But on a daily level, you do have this mission, and
Mm-hmm.
it makes life worth living. It really does.
Yeah, it's like a sense of purpose that I think a lot of people are lacking when they're in their lowest points. It gives you so much to wake up for, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Hayley, did you want to have somebody else from your
Oh,
shop come on?
just wanted to introduce you guys to Becca. This is
Hello.
Becca.
Hey.
Becca,
Hi.
Mackenzie.
Hi, Maggie.
So
So
nice to
Becca,
meet you.
do you
You
want
too.
to talk about what you do here?
Yeah, so I literally do a little bit of everything. My official title is marketing manager, but lately I've been getting heavier into the product development side, so I'd say that's kind of my main focus. I also do education. I'm a licensed hairstylist, so I'm kind of thrown around, but I love it, so it works, you know?
I love what you're doing because I think, Hayley, you're so right. Like I've always felt this. My hair is like a disaster right now, but in the general of my life, I actually had all the colors. I had the platinum. I've had the red. I've
Really?
had the black. I did when I was younger have all the colors, and even cutting your hair. I feel like it's something you can do that's temporary, even if it's a year. That's temporary.
Yes.
You know, you can
Yeah.
make a change that's dramatic, and
Mhm.
it's not, it's not life earth shattering, change, but it's a real uplift to your life.
Yes.
For sure.
I mean, it's like it's such a nice way to almost kind of propel yourself into another era of your own life or a new season. It's healthy. It's really healthy self-expression. It's no different for me or any of these girls than like writing or doing something that is creative, but yeah, it's not harmful. And Becca's great. If anyone that's watching this ever wants to know anything about hair dye or the process of dyeing your hair, Becca's always on our Instagram teaching, doing tips and tricks and being funny and cute and all that.
Oh, you're gonna get flooded. I'm sure people have a million questions. I would have.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known this, Hayley, because there were days and dark nights even with Billy's hair where there were some accidents in there where I would have loved to,
Oh,
You listen. You just call us, okay? We got you. That won't happen again.
Okay, she's in pretty good. She's in really good hands now, but mainly when she was younger with the Kool-Aid and the
the Kool-Aid was a trip. I mean, everyone that's like a rite of passage. You have to do that.
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna just show you one more thing. I made oatmeal cookies for you. I wish I could give them to you. So I asked Hayley what her favorite cookie was, and she said snickerdoodles or chocolate chip, oatmeal chocolate chip. So I made oatmeal chocolate chip cookies last night.
Aw, thank you.
But so I wish I could, I'll try to send you some. That would be the nice thing to do. But I wanted to perfect it because people are always asking me about vegan baking and how you substitute. So I made 2 different versions. One, I used Earth Balance both for the butter substitute. Okay. And then in one, I used powdered egg replacer mixed with water.
Oh,
and the other, I used flaxseed meal mixed with water.
Yes.
And I would say, there goes water on the ground.
This is why I love you. This is what I love.
Sooner or later, I'm going to knock something over. Okay, so I think when you're deciding what to do, and I'm going to send you this recipe.
Thank you. Yes.
This is what I did. I have a lot of my own recipes, but for this one, I just Googled like best, oatmeal chocolate chip recipe.
Okay.
And then I just subbed in. So I just straight ahead replaced. You could and then if I was really having a fun week, I would make another batch and I would use coconut oil instead of the Earth Balance. And maybe I'd try applesauce instead of the flaxseed or sweet potato. This is my favorite for brownies.
Yeah, okay.
I got that online. Somebody did like a 10 brownie trial and they came up with that and they're right. So if your recipe already has like baking soda or baking powder, then it's going to have leavening. So you're just kind of looking for the butter. So I think in this case, I would have guessed that I would prefer the egg replacer.
Really?
But in this case, I preferred the flaxseed meal.
Okay, I do chia eggs, but I've never done flax eggs, and I am excited to try this.
Okay, well, you try it with a chia egg, because I think because it's oatmeal, it's already kind of grainy, so you don't mind having flaxseed or chia meal.
Right.
But in your snickerdoodle, I would say go with the egg replacer.
Okay, cool. I've used just egg, but I've never used powdered egg replacer. That sounds very easy to use. Is it?
It's very easy. I really like that brand Energy. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And Bob's, I'm using Bob's too. It works well too. But especially if you're making like cinnamon rolls or cake or something where you don't want an extra graininess to it or an extra thing, I'd go with the egg replacer powder.
Oh man, you're gonna have to send me that cinnamon roll recipe too.
I'll get cooking for us.
Yeah, I'll cook for you guys.
I will send it to you, but before you make it, I have like tips, because even though you try to put everything in a recipe, it's like, but you have to kind of go like, you have to give the tips. So I'm going to give out that recipe soon, but I will definitely send it to you. But so the flaxseed one for me, I will post the recipe, but thank you. Are you a non-raisin person?
No, I don't mind raisins. I like them.
I do too. So I actually added some raisins to some.
Did you? Oh, spicy. Yes, I love raisins. I mean, my mom hates them, so anytime I make some for us, I don't put them in, but I love them.
My family hates them too. I'll be honest. I even used gluten-free flour for this. I used Bob's Red Mill.
Did you?
1-to-1, and they're really good.
Oh.
So,
okay,
the
cool.
subbing is just like science.
Yeah, I typically bake gluten-free, but it's not because I have a real intolerance. It's just I try to vary my diet so that I'm not eating. Because, like, if I go for bread, I'll eat sourdough bread every single day for every meal because it's my favorite thing. But, I would love to. I can't wait to get this recipe and make these.
Super easy. And, I even didn't have any brown sugar, but I had molasses, so I just added molasses to the white sugar. I mean, this is kind of science and around that. But I'll send it to you. But thank you for letting me bake these. I wish I could give them to you.
Oh my God, I'm dreaming of them. I might have to make them like as soon as you can send me the recipe. I'll be making them. So I'm very excited.
Maybe you make them with regular flour and the chia seed egg, and tell me how they turn out. Okay,
I will.
Okay, Hayley. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are going to get messages. Thank you for helping everyone, Becca. Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you do. I can't wait for you to be back on the road again and come through Nashville, because I want to give you a big hug.
I can't wait. Yeah, you know, I think I told your manager this before you got on the phone that time, that we were in Australia one time, and you know how the fans in Australia can come right to the gate.
Yes.
And this was on Billy's first trip to Australia, right?
Oh my God.
So we get to our gate and there's all these fans there. And we're like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. And then we start talking to them all and they're like, we wish we could have seen your show last night. And we were like, wait, you're at the gate, but you didn't see the show? They were like, no, we saw Paramore.
Oh man, I miss Australia. We love those shows down there.
Oh, and literally Billy was like, I would have seen that too.
Well, my hope is that like when everything's back rolling and it's all good, I hope we run into you guys at a festival or something. That'd be so fun.
I can't wait. Well, I love you and I admire you so much.
Thank you. Love you too.
Okay, I think you have to hang up because my ex doesn't work.
Okay, I think I know how to do this. Bye.
Bye, Hayley.
Bye.
See ya.